Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where, Dale, we don't need to come up with clever stuff anymore, do we?
They're still open.
They're still open. They're open for business. They're also doing things that they've been doing all along that not everybody knows about, like giving free coffee to emergency workers, to first responders. People have been talking about that a lot on social media lately. That's actually been the case all along.
Right. Yeah, and you know, what they're doing and what Giant Eagle is doing in general for the employees and for staying open and all those things, it's great work.
It's the front line.
Yeah,
that's not an exaggeration. It's a very, well, these are very different times that we're in. Let's talk about, I don't know, baseball, just for the heck of it. You're a baseball guy at heart. Not everybody knows that. Why don't you fill them in on that?
Yeah, this weekend was actually supposed to be my drafts for the youth league in Washington that I run, and obviously we've had to push them back because we didn't want to get all the managers in a room together and do all those things. But as far as I know, the seasons are still going to go on. As far as we know, the Pirates season is still going to go on. It's just not going on right here behind us or across from us today.
On the day that we're speaking, of course, is when the 134th season of the Pittsburgh Baseball Club was supposed to have begun. Not here, of course. It would have been in this hideous tuna can construction in St. Petersburg, Florida, indoors and dark and miserable.
I can't
and
imagine
everything.
it would have been any nicer than it is here today, though.
This would have been ideal, but as you pointed out right before we started airing, by the time we get to April 2, it'll probably be rainy, cloudy, and everything else. The Reds will be here, and everyone will be all miserable and all that other stuff. I'm not gonna lie. This is the day, Dale, that I kind of miss sports maybe more than anything else. I think hockey was taken away. It was really abrupt and sudden. Yeah, Taylor and I were out in Columbus, and it was just literally pulled out from under us that day. We had a chance to absorb that and everything. This is the first time that I feel like, man, this could have been, should have been baseball, with Derek Shelton as the first, game as manager, and, Ben Cherington in a new front office. The players are all fired up. It would have just been nice,
Yeah, certainly, and I know just from the Steelers stuff that I've written over the last week, and they've had some things going on the last 2 weeks, really. I think everybody kind of needed that. And just
thank
something
God for
new
the National
that was
Football
happening.
League.
And to not have baseball season happening right now, and we already, there's already no NCAA tournament, which would have been, winding down this week or getting down to I believe the Elite Eight. There's no hockey. There's no NBA. Baseball season would have started. This is like the time of year when everything would have been going on, and well, nothing's going on.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, too. I was looking forward to this Pirates season. I know a lot of people aren't or weren't. They were forecasting all kinds of dire things for the Pirates.
I know they're not going to lose 100 games this year.
They're definitely not losing 100 because they might not play 100. I didn't see that. Dale, you looked at that lineup. Did that lineup look like a 100-loss team to you?
No, it's really difficult to lose 100 games.
Too.
They've done it 3 times since 1955.
Right.
And they've had some putrid teams. I mean, I can remember my senior year in high school in '86 when they were running out one of the worst lineups in the...
Sixto Lezcano and the boys.
Yeah, just awful baseball. And, this was not that. And so, it's kind of... again, looking at the empty park today, and it's a sunny day, and you just, yesterday I found myself driving out to my baseball fields to take a look at how everything was looking, it's that time of year.
Oh, the grass is fine. Nobody's trampling on it. The Steelers have kept you busy. Mercifully, they've kept our readers busy as well. A chance to actually read stuff that's real news and real developments, even XFL guys coming in and everything else. But Kevin Colbert made it pretty clear this week, confirming the somewhat obvious that they don't have any money left.
Yeah, I mean, they could create space if they really wanted to make a move, but they don't want to at this point. They kind of want to sit back. As he mentioned yesterday, they've really started diving into their draft prep. It's now a month out from the draft, so that's what the flurry of moves last week was about. Get everything in place. Now you take a step back, start on your draft prep again, finalizing your boards and all those kind of things. And they'll look at it and they'll say, okay, do we think we can fill this spot? Do we think we can fill these spots? Maybe they wait until after the draft and see what they're able to accomplish in the draft. They only have 6 picks, but they're done at this point, other than, signing a few XFL guys that they've done this week, but they're not signing anybody
significant.
Significant. They're not signing. Stop with the Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
stuff.
that stuff's silly.
Stop all that stuff.
Stuff is silly. The inside linebacker depth is something that I kind of have semi-circled. I trust Vince Williams. I trust Vince Williams to stay healthy. He's been good at that throughout his career. His snap count wasn't what it was last year either, which certainly helped in that regard. And I don't know that you need to replace Mark Barron per se, because Devin Bush is more that type of player anyway that's dropping into coverage. But run stopping, Chris Wormley can be part of that. But what about another inside linebacker? It doesn't have to be an expensive one. Maybe it could be somebody in the draft.
Yeah, they still like Ulysses Gilbert, and he showed a lot during training camp last year. Very fast, can be physical. I actually think that Robert Spillane can be a guy too.
Really?
Yeah, I liked what I saw of him last year in training camp, and I think he's every bit the player that Tyler Matakevich was. I think he actually might be better in coverage.
He means that in a good way, everybody.
I do,
okay.
Because I think Matakevich had a role.
Yes.
And I think Spillane can be one of those kind of guys who can be in that mix. So I don't hate what they have there. In fact, I feel like their depth there is better than what they have at outside linebacker.
Well, that's a fair point, because you're referring obviously to not having Anthony Chickillo, and if either T.J. Watt or Bud Dupree goes down, obviously, you're not going to have anybody to come in and replace either of those guys, but you do want someone to be able to go out on the field and spell them, because that did happen.
That third outside linebacker does play 15 snaps a game.
I was going to say, that's
whereas the inside
Chick
backers really don't.
Yeah, Chick got on the field.
Watt will pull himself out of games,
right?
Because he'll just go with 1,000 miles an hour on every play, and eventually
he'll go straight to the sideline.
And so that third outside linebacker will play, and that to me is a concern. Nothing against Ola Adeni. He's undersized. He gets enveloped a little bit in the run.
Wait, what's that out of here? Tuzar Skipper.
Yeah, let's tap the brakes a little bit on Lawrence Taylor Skipper.
I love it.
He's a nice prospect. He's nice to have in the mix, but I would like a more veteran guy in that,
I don't
in that
know,
mix
Dale.
as well.
He gets back there, man.
At least somebody with some pedigree.
I'm all right with Tuzar. He gets back there. We've seen it. And I know it's the fourth quarter preseason game.
He did it against guys that are playing in the XFL this
I get
spring.
it. Now, in behind us, Dale, there actually are people occasionally that go by. You can see that even as they go by on their bikes, whatever, this of course being the Clemente Bridge, 6th Street Bridge to some of us, they are spread out. You're still allowed outside. You're still allowed to, the whole 6-foot thing and everything else. What are you doing?
Well, the Steelers have kept me pretty busy, and
aside from work, I know all you do is work. Aside from work,
I'm still doing my physical therapy. In fact, I just got done with physical therapy, working on the arm.
How's that coming? Show everybody.
Well, right now, because they just got done twisting and bending me in places that it shouldn't go. So it's a little sore right now, but it's getting there. It's getting better. I still expect to be able to do a little throwing once I get back into baseball season, once we start to play.
Potential 6th starter. Everybody else just cooped up in the house?
Yeah, my daughter. I never thought I would hear my daughter say that she misses school, but she misses school.
Ouch.
And I keep telling her, I'm like, this is only like day 10. You haven't even been out of school that long, and you're missing school.
It hasn't been very long, Jim Rutherford on the conference call that he had a couple of days ago with those of us who cover the Penguins referred to it as day 14, meaning day 14 from the day that the Penguins and Blue Jackets were canceled, which I think is how a lot of us think of this when it started, because that was when it all hit us in the face. I'm like, they just canceled an NHL game because of a governor in Ohio,
right.
His orders. It's day 14. How long?
I don't know. Things are like, I went to the grocery store yesterday, and Giant Eagle, by the way, and there were like 15 cars in the parking lot.
Yeah.
As opposed to last week at this time when I would stop there and there were 3,000 cars in the parking lot.
Right. Only 2,000 of them stuffed to the windows with toilet paper.
Well, there wasn't any toilet paper to be had at that point.
Okay. All right.
But it's just, you know, it's almost like a ghost town. I mean, I can drive right into Pittsburgh now.
Rush hour.
Any time of the day, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we could shoot this theoretically out in the middle of Federal Street. I mean, we might get run over, but we also might not. You know, these are crazy times, and honestly, Dale, I don't know how much longer this can go. You know, not to get all touchy and everything else here, but we're not that country that can be told to stay inside for 3 months. We're just not.
No, especially when you're getting into the summer months. We just got done with
That's
winter.
what we've been saying here. A day like this, and somebody's going to say, again, to repeat, that's not the order. That's not the order from Allegheny County. That's not the order from Pennsylvania. You're allowed outside. It's just a matter of being safe about it. But you're just not going to, you know what I'm saying here? Yeah. I just don't think you're going to pull this off. Never mind economic impact and everything else.
No, I hear you. And, you know, my wife works in the medical field, and she's been going to work every day, and they do all the testing and stuff when she shows up, and they test them again when they leave. And it's, you know, it's just a strange time.
Yeah, it is.